Hello everyone. So in today's video lecture, we'll discuss some more examples of how to write some complicated SQL queries. So in the last video lecture, we have discussed about group by and having clause, and we have seen the examples of it, how to use it. So now almost we have come across select, from, where, group by and having clause. Now let us see some more examples, one or two examples in this video lecture, to get more insight about what exactly not exactly is a SQL query and how to write by using this constructs select, from and where. So there is an example on the board for each project on which more than 2 employees work. Retrieve the project number, the name and the number of employees who work on the project. So in this particular, first thing you are supposed to do is analyze the given question first and see what and all table is required in order to give an answer for this question. So it's asking about for each project on which more than 2 employees work. So they are asking project table, and we want the employee table because they are asking more than 2 employees. Okay. So how does an employee is related with a project? You need to look for it. Next, retrieve the project number, the name of a project and the number of employees who work on the each projects. Okay. For only those projects where there are more than 2 employees, retrieve the project number, the project name and the number of employees who are working in it. It should be more than 2, of course. Okay. But once you have done with telling that I want employee table, I want project table to give answer for this, first you need to think of how do this project table and employee table are related. Is there any primary key, foreign key present in employee table and as a part of foreign key in project table? So you can see employee's primary key is SSN, project primary key is P number, and project has a foreign key called as department number, which is related to department table, but employee is nowhere related to project and project is nowhere related to employee with respect to primary key and foreign key. Clear? So now what you are supposed to do is, there is one more table which was actually a relationship type. If you have gone through that ER to relation mapping video, it will be easy for you to analyze what is works on. This was a relationship type there, which was it was a relationship type between an employee and a project, which was converted to a entity as a relation later on. So works on was an MS2N relationship type, which was converted to a relation here. So it has the primary key of employee table and primary key of project table is the primary key for this works on table. Okay. So this particular entity helps us to relate employee with a project through works on. Okay. So this is primary key here, you can take primary key here. Then you have primary key here, you can join with this. So by doing a joining with works on with employee and the project, indirectly I can join project as well as employee to get the information whatever is required. So they are asking about for each project on which more than 2 employees works. So say for example SSN number 1 is a primary key here. So 1 is working in project number 10, also 1 is working in project number 11, means I need to retrieve the details of 1 because he is working in both 10 and 11, where 10 and 11 is primary key in project table. Hope you are able to make what I am explaining right now is just visualizing before writing the query how it might ask to be written. Okay. So let us start writing a query. First of all, let us think of whether we require an estate query or a correlation query for this. So it looks like a very simple query, just joining is all is required with the help of a group by. Okay. So select. The first thing you need to understand here is retrieve the project number and name, both I want. So project number, that is P number, and P name we want. Okay. From which table? Project P works on W EMPE. So we have 3 tables. I have created 3 aliasing for all the 3 tables. Employee, project and works on. Project as P, works on as W and employee as E. Now what I am supposed to do here is just visualize yourself. I will just write down here I need to create a big table now. Big table of what? Attributes of project, all attributes, P number, P name, P location, T number, plus attributes of works on, plus attributes of employee, all into one big table with a matching condition. So you are supposed to give the matching condition in the where clause of the query what you are writing right now. So that is where, how do you give? What is common across project and works on? P number. So P dot P number equals W dot P number. Fine. So what we have done here is the primary key and the foreign key between the project and works on has been joined up. Next, and we need to get a relation between employee and works on now, because it has a primary key and a foreign key. So employee and this has to be joined now. That is E dot SSN equals W dot SSN. Done. So this will do what now? If 1 is present here, for 1 it looks for a 10. If 10 is present here, so this row plus this row plus this row will be joined. Employee ID SSN should be present in works on. If the same ID as a project number, if that project number is present in project table, then join these 3 rows. So these 2 conditions should match. A given SSN in employee table should be present in works on table. Works on table alli aa ID aa SSN jotege yava project number idyo aa project number if it is present in project table also, these 3 rows will be joined into 1 row only if a matching condition. Say for example, I'll give 3 here. Okay, 3 is not present here. So hence this particular row details of employee number 3 will be not present in the output table because 3 is not been assigned to any project till now. 3 as an employee is not been assigned to any project. So please try to understand and visualize yourself that what I am telling right now is only those matching values which are present in SSN, in employee table, which are present in works on table, partially the project number present in works on table present in project table, only those things have been joined. So hope in the last class I have told you with an example how to visualize and have written a table, how it looks like when you join the table. So please go through that if you are not able to get this right now. Okay. So next, the major condition for which more than 2 employees works. Now I want only those P number and P name of projects where there are more than 2 employees are working. To do that, so when I say more than 2, I want to have a group by condition first. So group by. Now group by of what? Because see, when I join these 3 tables after applying this join condition, I have a big table. Now say for example, SSN of employee table is matched with works on table SSN and P number is 10. Okay. Again we have one more for 11, it will go on like this. So if I say group by the project number, it looks good. If the project number is repeated more than once, what does it mean to you? Say for example, 2, employee number 2 is also working in department number 10. So again for 10, employee number 2 comes. Again for 11, 1, 2. So this way it will go on. So when I do a group by project number, I'll get a count of more than 2. So, but one thing you need to understand here is fine, grouping by project number is totally fine. Sorry for this. Grouping by project number is totally fine, but in the select clause they have asked us to both P number as well as P name. So anyhow when P number repeats, P name also repeats, right? See, when the project number 10 is repeated in the join table, if I write the P name in the next to that also, then P name also repeats. P name will be X, it will be repeating for all the same P number. So the reason I am writing P number and P name in the select clause, that is the reason in the group by also we need to write both, because I have told you before in the last video lecture that whatever the attributes come in the group by should be also present in the select clause. So purposefully, if you can get the answer only by grouping by P number also, I need to include P name because it is there in the select clause. Okay, group by P number comma P name. Now what happens? Group by can't be seen, internally happens. So there are 3 groups or 4 groups created based on the number of project numbers present after joining 10, 11, 12. In the case of we have only 2 project numbers 10 and 11, so 2 groups are created. Next, now in these groups I don't want all the groups to be present, I want only the selected groups, that is whose count is more than 2, means the project number should be repeated more than 2, only those project number has to be selected. So having count of P number greater than 2, retrieve more than 2, so greater than 2. So this is the having condition. So only those groups which are having more than project number repeated more than twice in the group, what you have subgroups, what you have created in this table, joint table, all 10 into one group, all 11 into one group you have created, no. So that group will be checked with the condition. For all both are greater than 2, both will be selected. If anyone, if nothing is greater, nothing has been selected. Okay. Now still the query is not yet finished. Retrieve the project number, the name and the number of employees. I want the number of employee also. So what is supposed to do? Comma, count star. So whenever you write the P number and P name, if P number of that particular project number, that is 10, is repeated 3 times or 4 times, so I'll get P number 10, project name X, count as 3. Okay. So this way, how many times when you have a group, you have a number, right, that number should be coming in the select clause also, means it can include it. So as I told in the last video only, that in select clause you should have only those attributes present in the group by, that I have done. With that I can have any number of aggregate functions, that is totally fine. Okay. So this is the query for the given question for retrieving the project numbers and the details. So what you need to understand is, SQL queries need not be written in one particular way. It's all about how you have taken the relations into consideration and joining operation into consideration. So in this case I have gone with the equi-join with a single where condition, and we have got the answer easily. So select P number, P name, count star the output. So the output will be 3 attributes. What we will be getting for this? So we have P number, P name and the count star. I have not renamed it, so I will get count star itself. So P number 10, P name X and the count will be 3, something like this. So it will continue if you have some more projects. Okay. So I have from 3, I have 3 tables. I have joined these 3 tables with the help of the works on table, because works on is a table which is being called as a relationship type, later on called as a relation, because it has the combination of primary keys as a primary key for this table. SSN is a foreign key, P number is a foreign key, because these 2 are primary key in other tables, they act together as a primary key. So with help of this we join employee and project, because employee and project are not directly related. Then after that, joining, apply the group by condition and having condition to eliminate some of the groups based on the condition says that only those groups who's having more than 2 employees working in it, project working in it, so display only those people, rest eliminate. So this is the simple query. Okay. So we will see one more example next. Next example what we have is here, for each department that has more than 5 employees, for each department that has more than 5 employees, retrieve the department number and the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. So this looks like a subquery in which retrieve the number of department number and the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. See, the first thing you need to understand here is, in this query, only for those department where there are people more than how many? More than 5 employees are working, take those department numbers first. Next, in the department where more than 5 employees are working, display the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. So for example, in department number 10 I have 6 members. So department number 10 has to be selected from the first rule, because it is more than 5. Next, after those 6 people, I need to find out the department number and next to it how many are taking more than salary of 40,000. Hope the query was clear to you all. So in this way you need to analyze it and take a part of it and write the query. Now I have just written a small instance of the output in order to understand you clearly. So as you can see the query, you can tell that we require employee table as well as department table in order to answer this query. To know that whether an employee is working on a department number or not, how do you come to know that? So we have understood this employee table as a department number as a foreign key. So if department number is repeated, it means that all these are employees working in this department number. So department number is a foreign key, this is the primary key, and it is primary key in a department table. So we can relate this to this and to find out the primary key foreign key relation. But the first part, let us understand how to find out the count is more than 5 or not. Okay, so let me write the inner part first, that is select D number from EMP group by D number. See, I'm applying on this employee table because in employee table the department number is what is repeated. So if you want to know count the number of employees, you need to count department numbers, because for each employee department number will be repeated if they are working in a same department. So group by department number, what is the condition? Having count star is also fine, count department number, because only one attribute star indicates whatever is there in the group by, same thing. So a group by department number having count star greater than 5. Now assume that it is not the case, assume that 10 is also 6 times here and 11 is only once. 10 has been selected because 10 is more than 5 times. Okay, so when 10 is more than 5 times, I want this department number to be selected from this inner query and given to the outer, where I can select the department number and the number of people having more than 40,000 of the salary. So this is what is the next part. So in the first part we have just find out what are the department numbers. Okay, so let us write the outer part now. So select the department number and we need to apply the count star because I want number of employees who are having more than 40,000. So from which table? So when I want department number and count and I want number of employees working, so I want to have a join operation first. So from department D, then EMPE. See why I am applying join, because let me tell, see the question retrieve the department number and the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. So department number is present in department as well as employee, but to know how many employees are taking more than 40,000 with respect to each department, I am supposed to do a small join operation in this case. Okay, so that is where D dot department number equals E dot department number and salary greater than 40,000. Okay, next, and supposed to put a and condition, then write this inner query part. So this becomes a inner query. Okay, so now what happens? Okay, it can be more specific. So department number equal to, you can join salary greater than 40,000, and you can also have department number in also is fine. Department number in, select department number, then this. Else also if you just write and condition, and if this is evaluating for true, then that will be taken into place, because something looks like a correlation query, because we have an employee table in the outer table which has been used in the inner table also. Fine, but anyhow we can go with this now. So what happens here is 10 has been selected from the inner query first. Now for 10 it will check, it will try to join with the department table. 10 is present, fine. Next I am to find out the salaries of all those people. So assume that these people are not having more than 40,000. So this and this, only 2 are having more than 40,000. Now what happens? Output 10 and the count is 2, because only 2 people have more than 40,000 of people who are working in department number 10. So this is what the output you will be getting from this particular query. So how exactly this query is to be solved? First thing you need to understand which all table is required, that is employee and department table, because the question is asked on those two tables. The next thing you need to look at it, do you require any correlation or the nested query part? Yes, we required, yes, because the query has two different parts. First we need to find out only those departments who is having more than 5 employees. So let me take that first. Okay, so with help of group by I was able to find out more than 5 employees and eliminating only those count by having a having condition. So which are count less than 5 are eliminated. Only department numbers from the employer table who is more than 5 times is taken. So that department number is again verified with the again department and employee table, because now what should I do? Only for the department number 10, all the employees I need to check who have more than 40,000. So that department number is taken from this inner query, and in this case whose salary is more than 40,000, only for the department number which is selected from the inner query 10 is been selected, and finally the count has been displayed for it. Okay, so this is the query how it looks like for the given question. For each department that has more than 5 employees, retrieve the department number and the number of its employees who are making more than 40,000. Okay, hope it was clear to you all. We will see one more example of it. Okay, the next example, list the names employees with 2 or more dependent. It's quite easy when compared to the previous two. That is in which we had a multiple nested part being written. So list the names of employees with 2 or more dependent. So what it says is, if an employee, you know that there is a dependent for him. If an employee working in an organization, its family members are what is dependent. So there is a dependent table in the company database, as you already know. So now I want a employee name to be displayed as per the requirement which asks for, wherein which that employee ID is repeated multiple times in dependent table, because it is what gives us there are more than one dependent. Say for example SSN number 1, if it is present twice with 2 dependents, say for example X and Y might be a father and a mother. So because this particular employee has both father and mother, in that case this person has how many dependent? 2 dependent. So likewise I need to find more than 2 or more. So I want 2 as well as more than that and employee names of it. So how to do it? So select, I want the names of employees, that is e name, or you can write first name and last name, from which table. Now the question is, do we need to join 2 tables now? Because whether I need to apply the group by first to find out only from the dependent table, or I need to join these 2 tables and find out the group by. So it should be after joining. Why? Because after joining I have a big table. So I will be having SSN as well as I will be having ESSN. Okay, so SSN 1 1 1 1. Okay, and the name of the dependent will be XY. So now when I do a group by SSN or ESSN, I will be able to find out. If I only do group by on this, I will be not able to find out the employee name. So employee name, for example, if it is A, so A will be repeated. So I can find out that A is what the employee name for the similar number 1. So this is how you need to visualize yourself while writing a query. So in that case, from EMP and dependent. Okay, there is any where condition? No where condition. So directly let me go for group by. Okay, sorry. There is a way where I need to join these 2 tables, where SSN equal to ESSN. Just you can see I have not used any aliasing because these 2 have 2 different representations, so no need of aliasing. Next group by. Okay, group by on SSN or ESSN, both are fine, but when you are grouping by SSN or ESSN, as I have told, whenever you use a group by attribute, the same attribute should be present in the select clause also. Is it so? Yes. So on that case, I can't group directly by SSN or ESSN, I need to group by the one which is on the select clause, that is your ename. So let me group by ename. Is there any difference if I do it in a SSN or with the ename? It will be the same, because as I told, whenever the SSN repeats, the ename also repeats, right? So in that case, no much difference. If you want to group by SSN only, you can do one thing: group by SSN, then do select SSN, okay? Then put this as an inner query. In our inner query, select ename from employee where SSN in this one, okay? You can write a nested query there in that case. It's not required actually. So group by ename having count star greater than or equal to 2. Very important, because it is 2 or more they have asked, so greater than or equal to 2. So this will be the query. So finally we will get all the employee names which has been repeated more than 2 or more than 2, okay? So this is a one way. Other way, as I mentioned, you can write, if you want group by SSN only, group by SSN, select SSN, suppose write it here, then put this as a inner query. In outer query, write select ename from employee where SSN in this SSN should be matched to select the ename. So SSN 1 will be selected, one is matched with the employee table, so one as which name? A will be selected as output. So this phase also fine. But anyhow, we know that A is also been repeated as 1 is repeated, so we will take the group by employee name itself. So this is how you need to formulate your query for the given question, okay? So this is what we have just learned with respect to the SQL and different constructs of it, that is select from where, group by, having, and order by is also mentioned. I will just tell what is order by in brief now. So before that, so as you all know, select as the attribute or the function. So in the select clause, either you can have an attribute names being listed or the functions, like we just saw previously, count star being used in the select clause itself, just to find out the number of times it has been repeated as an output itself, okay? From the table list, from always have a table names with aliasing, where the condition, either the joining condition or the conditions like salary more than 40,000, working in research department, so and so can be given in the where clause. Then the group by as attribute or attributes, okay? So it depends on what you want in select clause. Based on that, you can have a single attribute or the group of attributes in the group by clause. Then we have this having. So as you have a where as a condition for selecting, select as attributes. For attributes, what values to be filled, who is going to decide that? The where clause, either by the joining condition or some additional conditions. The same way, to use what groups and to don't use what groups, we use this having. So having is a condition to eliminate the groups what we have created internally with the common values, okay? Then finally we have attribute as attribute list. Now what is this order by clause for the attribute? Is it specifies us in what order the values need to be present, either in the increasing order or the decreasing order, okay? Ascending or descending. So in case, for example, I will say retrieve the name of employees who is working in research department, okay? And I want the research department to be displayed in a proper order, ascending order. If you take, by default takes ascending order. So select the D name, sorry, I want the employee names, E name from EMPE department D, where E dot department number equals D dot department number and D name equal to, say, let me say IS. I want all the employee names who are working in IS department by joining employee department, but I want this employee name to be displayed in a proper order. So order by E name, the attribute which is present in the select clause. So now automatically what happens? By default, the ascending order of values will be displayed in the output, the names of employees in the ascending order, okay? In the same way, if you want, this is what the order by is been used for. The same if you want in a descending order, just include DESC at the last, this will display the things in the descending order. So, the order of elements in case of descending is the DESE keyword will be used. So, these are the different constants of SQL. So, order by is one which is used for displaying the elements in ascending order or descending order. By default is ascending order. If you want descending order, include this keyword DESE after the attribute name. Okay. So, there are some more things to be covered in this chapter. So, we will look at that in the next on video lecture. Until then, thank you.